Hey, what's happening, everybody? Willie here at the Great Outdoors. And this is not a normal outdoors for me, how you normally see me by any means. It's snowing again. This is our snow event that they call it. They like to call it events around here because technically it is really kind of an event for us. But I'm going to go out in it for a little bit in a little bit different manner than I usually go out. Let's just cross our fingers and hope that what I'm about to do doesn't either get me killed, arrested, or it actually works in the first place and it makes doing this video worthwhile. Well, that's how deep it is. That's some snow there. I'm pretty sure that this thing has not been ran since the last video when I put the engine on it. Let's take a good look at it and see if there's any gas in it or it'll even start. Plenty of gas. We'll let it warm up a minute. Usually something like this is a surefire trip to the hospital. What's happening, guys? How'd you like that little romp through the snow on the mini bike? Yeah, the old mini bike, you know, it's been calling my name for quite some time. Haven't had a reason to do anything with it. And that really stinks for the old thing. It was in the shed, it could hear the snow falling, and it was screaming every time I pulled up in the driveway. Come on, Willie, let's go for a ride in the snow. Yes, it was dangerous, two wheels sliding all over the place, going up and down the road. I do have an inner ear infection. I was dizzy and could barely keep the bike up. But you know, danger is something that is out there. It's just out there. You can't sit in the house. You just can't sit in the house in your recliner wrapped up in a blanket, drinking hot chocolate and watching YouTube all day long. Well, not every day anyway. You got to get out there and experience things. And that's what I was doing. We were just having a good time. Just something fun to do. And that was fun. I enjoyed that quite a bit. And I'm sure the old mini bike probably did too. Now I just got to find more reasons to get out and take that mini bike places, which I think will be happening very soon. Today's adventure is going to be just that. I've already had one this morning, to be honest with you. We had a snow adventure of riding around in the mini bike. And the other adventure was I had to jump about 17 feet down the stairs to keep from crushing a cat. But needless to say, now my lower back hurts and my left butt cheek is swelled up to the size of a cantaloupe. You know, what do? Whatever reason, they love to cut in front of your feet. They like to get under your feet. They like to wait till your momentum is going forward and you're about to plant your foot to keep you from falling over. And that's when they like to cut between your feet, between your knees, under your foot. And, you know, in the past, you may have heard me mention that me and the old Royal Enfield Himalayan, well, we just ain't hitting it off. We're not hitting it off at all. And, you know, it's just one of those things. Motorcycles are a funny thing. You get a feel for something, and it feels great. It's comfortable. It's good. Everything works out. And like the monkeys, for example, you know, Mickey, Peter, Davey, Mike, no, Honda monkeys. I always get that messed up. The Honda monkeys, well, we get along real good. We hang out in the same groups. You know, we're just that way. You know, you've had friends like that. You've had people that you've known that you just say, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. You probably had them at work, maybe at school, whatever the case. You know, you're not enemies, but you're not really friends. You're acquaintances. Well, that's how me and the Himalayan get along. we see each other in the garage and we say, hey, what's happening? He says, hey, I'm doing all right. And we just move on. But the monkeys, when they see we're high-fiving and we're laughing about the week before last or whatever, that's the kind of the way I am, with things. I treat things like people. I don't know why. I think everything has a soul because everything was built, by someone who put their soul into it. Whether it was packaging, shipping, building, creating, designing, whatever, something of a person, people, goes into it. So to me, it has a life of its own, even though people would say it's just an inanimate object. That's just me. But regardless, the old Royal Enfield and I just haven't gotten off on the right foot, I guess. So today, we are actually going to be heading over to Virginia Beach, Norfolk area, and we may be looking at something different. So today very well could be New Motorcycle Day. So stay with me, guys, gals, monkey fans, Royal Enfield lovers who will now probably disown me. Let's get on this adventure. Sun's out and the snow is melting. And my back is killing me. Oh. That's going to be a great 60-mile ride. Oh. Well, I made it. But man, that was some of the worst driving traffic road. It was like being in a live video game where you couldn't lose. You only had one life. Man, that was frightening. That section of Virginia's got to have the worst highways in Virginia. There's just no way. Anyway, we're here. They open up in about 2 minutes. I'm probably parked in a place I shouldn't be, but we are. So we're just going to go from there. I'm going to meet up with the salesperson that I've been talking to, and I'll take you in and show you what we got. Or might get, or whatever. We don't know yet. So anyway, here we are, Sunrise Motorcycles. Sunrise Cycles, let me get that right. Kawasaki, Yamaha, Triumph, KTM, a little bit of everything. Yes, I am here looking at a Triumph. A Triumph Scrambler 400X. On-road, off-road kind of bike, hence the Scrambler name. But let's go inside and take a look. So we're doing the paperwork game now, and it's unfortunately it's taken a while because we're having to do the insurance and transferring the tag over and all of that stuff. And I'm really hoping that you can hear me past all the traffic. And so needless to say, I've been here since 9 o'clock this morning. It is now going on 1 o'clock. But I don't know any of my motorcycle endeavors that have ever taken a short period of time. It is what it is. We'll just keep on going for right now. When we get home, we'll do some explanations, some explaining, some explanating. Some explanating? We'll talk about it. Tyler Michael Chappelle? Michael Tyler Chappelle has been my salesman for the last, let's see, 4 days? Yeah, it seems like 4 days anyway. Well, we've talked for 4 days, or 3 days anyway. He was the one that talked me into the black one instead of the red one. So if anybody else says anything about it being the black one and not the red one, it's not my fault. Well, we got the license plate on it. If you look over there, that's the Himalayan. It's gonna go somewhere. I don't know where. Somebody will pick it up. Somebody will want one of those. And we'll take this thing home and get it in the truck, because now we got to load in here. Incoming. Well, we are home. I am cold. We left here today at, what time did I leave here? 8:30 this morning I left. It is now, it's about 20 minutes to 4. You know, good things come to those who wait. And I think I've been waiting a pretty good while today. Now I'm going to just cross my fingers and hope this thing's still standing in here. Yes, it's still standing up. That's always a plus. All right, now I got to get that thing out of there. This is always the fun part. It's always the part that scares me, to be quite honest with you. But I cleaned this area out where the Himalayan used to sit, and let's get him out of there. This bike doesn't weigh as much. I'm going to talk to y'all from way over here, if that's all right, if y'all don't mind. Evan can do a close-up or something, but that mattress off there. See, this is how I padded everything, because that way if the bike fell over, at least it would have fell into some blankets and things like that. Maybe just broke a $200 mirror off or something like that, and I would have felt a little bit better. Coming down. All right, that went smoothly. Always good. Making a 75-point turn here. Welcome to your new home. I will be naming this one. I know you're probably thinking, why are you going back out with it? I've changed my mind. I'm taking it back. No, not happening. What you're looking at is a 2024 Triumph Scrambler 400X. Okay. There are two Scrambler models in the 400. One is called the Speed, and the other one is called the 400X. 400X. 400X is a on-road, off-road kind of thing. Kind of a 60-40 kind of thing going on, I guess you'd say, somewhere in there. More on-road than off. 19-inch front wheel, 17-inch rear wheel. A little bit of ground clearance, got a little plastic skid guard under there that I'm going to have to replace, you know, because it's plastic ain't going to stop you from tearing it up. A few things that need to be upgraded, obviously. When you buy a motorcycle, I hate to say it, you're going to upgrade something. It's going to happen. Now, it's cold, and I'm going to get this trailer tidied up and maybe try to get that back to Robert tonight. And then we'll come back and sit down at the table. I'll explain my reasoning behind this, and we'll go from there. How about that? All right, so we are back in the house. Robert's got his trailer back. I've cleaned the truck out. Motorcycle's in the garage. And let's talk the slightest bit about why. Because that's the question on At least 2 of you's minds. Why? I'll tell you why. Himalayan, good bike. I didn't have a problem with the fact of its mechanical ability. Let's just go there first. Seemed to be perfectly fine. Problem I had was comfort. It did not sit well. It did not seat good. I tried 2 different seats on it. The original seat, obviously, and then I bought the touring seat. It was painful. After 30 miles, it was terrible. It was like being on a sliding board made of sandpaper. It was just terrible. You had to stop every 15 miles so you could pull your pants down from around your neck and try to be comfortable again. And you tried to hover all over the bike trying to find a comfortable spot. Now that hasn't happened for everybody. That's just happened for me, but I've heard other people, fuss about it, which is why they ended up buying the touring seat and finding out it wasn't really much better. 2, 24 horsepower. Okay, it's a 24 horsepower 411cc engine that weighs in at 439 pounds. Heavy bike, even though it's not very big. So even though it's geared right to pull that weight, when you talk about being a 5-speed transmission, she's wound out pretty tight when you're running 65, 70 miles an hour, and you just can't do that for long periods of time. And where I live, unfortunately, interstates, long straight stretches of 2-lane, some of those roads are 55 miles an hour or above. And most of the time I use the words above loosely because that's what most people are doing, is above. So when you're flying down those 2 lanes at 55 miles an hour and someone comes up on you at 65 miles an hour and wants to go around you and it's a double yellow line, they're probably going to figure out at some point a way to do it. And they don't care if they blow you into the ditch trying to do it. So, okay, Triumph 400X Scrambler. It's a 400cc engine, single cylinder, but yet has 39 horsepower and 6 gears. That 6-speed is like an overdrive, so I can run 75 miles an hour comfortably and not feel like that I'm going to get dusted by the next Toyota Prius or whatever that comes flying by. So there's part of the problem. There's part of the things right there. The comfort of this bike is hopefully going to be better. Just sitting on it made me feel a lot better than it did sitting on the Himalayan. Just taking the Himalayan out of the trailer was uncomfortable because the bike is, to me, it's kind of trying to find a comfort spot to put your feet down, to get your balance and everything. It just wasn't working. So there you go. That's basically it. These particular people at Sunrise over in Norfolk gave me a decent deal on the Himalayan. I mean, sadly, Himalayans do not hold their value. It's just how it is. Royal Enfield in general, they don't hold their value. Just get it in your head when you buy one. If you buy a brand new Himalayan or a brand new Royal Enfield of any kind, if you have it a year or so, you're not going to get much for it. So you got to buy that bike because you really want it, love it, or you have enough money to not care that when you go to sell it, it doesn't hurt your feelings when they offer you a little bit of money for it. Okay? They gave me a decent deal on mine. I used that money toward the Triumph and some money that I've been saving and messing with, holding on to because, basically if I put it on another car, we probably end up with another blown something sitting in the driveway. So at least I went with something new this time. 2024, that's right. So a lot to say about this bike, but it's going to have to take time. We need time to ride it. We need time to look at it. We need time to clean it, mess with it. Tomorrow's going to be a great day. I did buy a luggage rack for it for the side. Unfortunately, on this particular Triumph, you can only put luggage on the left-hand side. A lot of bikes like that. Monkeys like that. The Monkey, you can only put luggage on the left-hand side of the bike if that's what you want to do, unless you use a, milk crate. Anyway, there's my reason. There's what I did today. It's very late now. It is 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock already? Gosh, man. We left here at 8:30 this morning. It's now 6 o'clock, and I'm going to have some dinner, watch a little YouTube on Triumph Scrambler 400Xs. Not going to tell you I'm not going to miss the old Himalayan, but I'm going to tell you I'm not going to miss the old Himalayan. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. We're going to see you on the next one. Whatever the next one may be. But I can warn you now, it may have something to do with a 2024 Triumph Scrambler 400X. Just going to warn you now. Got to get it set up. I've got to get it set up. We're going to need luggage and rod holders and places to put fishing licenses and things like that. I mean, we're going to need that kind of stuff. Tents. I'm going to need a place for a tent. I'm going to need all kinds of stuff. It's going to need stuff. I mean, you don't ever buy a motorcycle that you don't have to modify.